Have you ever wondered how many times a person can fail before history finally calls them a success? On a bitterly cold December evening in 1831, a gaunt and exhausted young lawyer sat alone in a small room lit by a flickering candle in New Salem, Illinois. Outside, snow drifted through the empty streets. Inside, unpaid bills lay scattered across a rough wooden table. His business had failed. He was deeply in debt. The woman he loved would later die unexpectedly. His political ambitions seemed hopeless. Most people looking at him that night would have seen a man whose life was falling apart. History would remember him as Abraham Lincoln, and his life would become one of the greatest examples of a timeless truth. After every hardship, a better season may be waiting, if you have the patience to endure the storm. Lincoln was born in 1809 inside a simple log cabin in Kentucky. His family was poor and opportunities were scarce. Unlike many future leaders, he received very little formal education. Most of what he learned came from borrowing books and teaching himself by candlelight after long days of physical labor. Life tested him early. His mother died when he was only 9 years old. The loss left a deep wound that never fully healed. Yet, instead of allowing hardship to define him, Lincoln developed a habit that would shape his future. He kept moving forward. As a young man, he worked various jobs: farm laborer, store clerk, surveyor, and postmaster. None brought lasting success. In 1832, he ran for political office for the first time. He lost. Many people would have accepted defeat and moved on. Lincoln did not. A year later, he and a business partner opened a store. The business failed. The debts remained. For years afterward, Lincoln struggled to repay money he owed. Friends joked that he carried a burden so large it felt like a lifetime sentence. Yet, he refused to quit. Each failure taught him something. Each setback strengthened him. Each disappointment prepared him for challenges still ahead. Then came personal tragedy. In 1835, Anne Rutledge, the woman many historians believed Lincoln loved deeply, died suddenly from illness. The loss devastated him. Friends worried about his mental health. Some described him as overwhelmed by grief and depression. For months, his future appeared uncertain. But once again, time slowly transformed pain into wisdom. Lincoln returned to his studies, continued practicing law, and rebuilt his life step by step. Years passed. He entered politics again. Sometimes he won, often he lost. He lost campaigns for Congress. He lost bids for higher office. He lost opportunities that seemed certain. Newspapers criticized him. Political opponents mocked him. Many believed he lacked the charisma necessary to become a major national leader. Still, Lincoln persisted. What made him remarkable was not extraordinary talent alone. It was patience. He understood that success rarely arrives immediately. By the 1850s, America faced one of the greatest crises in its history. The nation was increasingly divided over slavery. Families argued, states threatened separation, violence erupted in some territories. The future of the country appeared uncertain. Lincoln spoke openly against the expansion of slavery, but his views made him controversial. In 1858, he challenged Stephen Douglas for a United States Senate seat. Their debates became famous throughout America. Many observers believed Lincoln performed brilliantly. Yet when the election ended, he lost. Again. Another disappointment, another failure, another reason to quit. But something unexpected happened. Although he lost the election, millions of Americans heard his ideas for the first time. The defeat increased his national reputation. The lesson was simple. Sometimes what appears to be a failure is actually preparation for something larger. Only 2 years later, in 1860, Lincoln ran for president of the United States. To many people, the idea seemed ridiculous. He was not the favorite. He lacked the wealth and political influence of many rivals. Yet when the votes were counted, Abraham Lincoln became president. The same man who had lost businesses, elections, opportunities, and loved ones now stood at the head of the nation. But his hardest trials were still ahead. Within months, the Civil War erupted. The country split apart. Hundreds of thousands of lives would be lost. Lincoln faced criticism from every direction. Some believed he was too weak. Others believed he was too aggressive. Newspapers attacked him daily. Military defeats created public outrage. At times, even members of his own government doubted him. Yet Lincoln remained remarkably patient. He endured criticism. He learned from mistakes. He adjusted strategies. And most importantly, he never allowed temporary setbacks to determine permanent decisions.
The war lasted 4 brutal years. Many moments appeared hopeless, but eventually the Union prevailed. Slavery was abolished. The nation survived. Lincoln's leadership helped preserve the United States during its greatest crisis. Today, historians consistently rank him among America's greatest presidents. Yet what makes his story extraordinary is not simply the success he achieved, it is the suffering he endured before achieving it. Most people see the monument in Washington, they see the famous speeches, they see the historical achievements. What they often forget are the years of disappointment that came first. The failed business, the lost elections, the crushing debt, the personal grief, the public criticism, the uncertainty, the loneliness. Lincoln's life teaches a lesson that history repeats again and again. Hardship is often temporary, growth is often invisible, and patience is often rewarded long after people expect it. When we experience difficulties, we naturally want immediate relief. We want answers, we want success, we want results. But life rarely works that way. Sometimes the greatest opportunities arrive only after years of preparation, disguised as struggle. Abraham Lincoln could not see the future while sitting alone beside that candle in New Salem. He could not know that generations would study his life. He could not know that monuments would be built in his honor. He could not know that history would remember him as one of the greatest leaders America ever produced. All he knew was that life was difficult, and yet he continued. That decision changed everything, because after every hardship, a better season may indeed be waiting. The challenge is having enough patience to reach it, and few people prove that truth more powerfully than Abraham Lincoln.